Bungie has updated their disabled list for the world's first raid race in the Desert Perpetual Raid, or DP Raid if you prefer that. The list of exotics grows longer and longer as we arrive closer and closer to the launch date, and some of these are going to surprise you. Alright, so previously we talked a little about before we had current disabled items. This is not due to the raid, this is just the portal, grappler, people were flying through stuff too fast. Activities, contest mode, this is what we're talking about. Outbreak Perfected has been doing crazy damage because it benefits from that weird anti-barrier mod inside the artifact. I don't know what that's doing, but it's making Outbreak and third iteration doing crazy damage. I think maybe the nanites are getting buffed by it. I'm not sure. It's just they had to disable both of those. They're doing way too much damage, which was good choice on them. Choir of One is easily like one of the best energy exotics in the game. They had to disable it. I'm not sure if it was exactly bugged. I heard that people learned a macro exploit that made them fire it at 50 times the faster, like 50 times faster than normal rate. So because of the macro that people are doing, they had to disable that, which is kind of crazy. Imagine someone actually clears the raid using a macro and cheating, right? There are cheaters out there that are going to be trying to clear it, and we'll cover that in a minute here. The icebreaker gets disabled. Not exactly sure why. I don't know. Maybe someone knows what that was doing to break the game. The Barodiad, though, this one makes a lot of sense. This was giving people crazy fast super energy, so that had to be disabled, and so was the hierarchy of needs as well. And then the Grand Overture also gets disabled. I'm not sure exactly what Grand Overture was doing specifically, but again, if you know, feel free to comment down below. These are all disabled and will not be eligible to be used during the contest mode raid. Then we also have all of these temporal mods that got disabled. This was that mod that my friend unlocked after hitting 350 power, because he is just a deranged individual that slept like 4 hours a night every night since reset. He made it to 350 power and he unlocked temporal armaments, which these mods only drop after you hit 350. And this mod makes it so you do like 15% more damage to Vex and Cabal, and the raid is a bunch of Vex. So yeah, that's going to be an absolutely busted mod, right? And a very small portion of people would end up having that, so they just decided to disable the whole suite of these temporal mods that come out after you hit 350. But in the future, definitely look forward to unlocking those, because temporal armaments will be like the meta for doing the raid by far. I mean, imagine you're doing the raid and you just do 15% more damage stacking on top of everything else that you're doing, right? That's the way it works now. So it'll be adding on 15% more damage to everything. So that's definitely the one. Then we had a bounty and weapon leveling progression for combat kills. So what they're doing here is like all your XP gains is very server heavy. And so they shut this off, because if they don't, then the game gets really laggy and we get crazy like error codes and stuff. We've had some world's first races that were just terrible because this was enabled. I'm trying to think of the last time this was enabled and it was really bad. Maybe King's Fall had it. The worst one ever though, what was the worst though? Vow of the Disciple, that was the one. Vow was, man, people were like locked out for like hours. That was terrible. But I was watching a clip of cheaters earlier that were using their infinite like firing, and they could shoot through immunity shields. So cheaters are actually out like crazy, and they're going to be trying to get world's first and fuck up this raid race as much as they possibly can. So be warned and be aware. Cheaters are out. If you're doing any fire team finder stuff, be careful. You might be playing with a cheater. They're out there. When we do get the announcement of who is the world's first winner, we'll bring you that video as well. So we're looking forward to that. So make sure you're subscribed, and we'll see you in the next one.